This video is for Bloomington Public Schools staff to review the Bloomington Public Schools regulations and policies. Where are Bloomington policies located? Well, if you go to the Bloomington website, click on District Board or School Board Policies and Regulations. You can see they're all located right here from 100 all the way down to the 900s. Please understand that by all means this is not a all-inclusive summary of every policy. It's more so just to highlight the important portions. So these are the Bloomington policies under personnel. 406, public and private personal data. 413, harassment and violence. 414, mandated reporting of child neglect or physical or sexual abuse. 417, chemical use and abuse. Drug-free workplace, drug-free school. Tobacco-free schools. And 457, respectful and professional workplace. Here are Bloomington policies regarding students. 501, weapons. 506, student discipline. 506.1, bullying prevention. 522, student sex non-discrimination. And 524, technical guidelines. 529, staff notification of violent behavior by students. And 540, hazing prohibition. Bloomington Public Schools policies and non-instructional operations. 707, transportation. So the first one is 406, public and private personal data. It's important to know what is public personnel data and what is private personnel data, because there's a difference between the two, and it's really important that you know those differences. The policy will list the two different types and explain what they are. 413, harassment and violence. Violence between or harassment between student and student, staff to student, and staff to staff. It involves hurting others, and if anyone is hurt or feeling threatened, the district will investigate. 414, mandated reporting of child neglect or physical sexual abuse. It's the law. Failure to report may be subject to criminal penalties or termination of employment. Report as soon as possible, but in no event longer than 24 hours. Must report if occurred within the preceding 3 years. Chemical use and abuse, 417. Schools instruct students about dangers. Staff must report student use, and human resources will investigate staff usage. 418, drug-free workplace, drug-free school. It's prohibited use before, during, and after school by students and staff. Permission granted for controlled substance. For example, if someone is taking Ritalin and needs to have it administered during school, then you have permission. But anything a drug is investigated or an issue when it interferes with learning. 419, tobacco-free schools. No smoking or chewing on school premises. Subject to discipline if caught. 457, respectful and professional workplace. All staff will be treated with respect and professionalism. First, they must try to work out amongst themselves, but if can't, report to supervisor, and supervisors will work with HR to resolve the issues. 501, weapons. No weapons on school grounds. Student suspension or expulsion. Staff employment could be terminated, subject to discipline or criminal charges. 506, student discipline. Follow school rules, subject to school consequences, because we want to maintain a safe and orderly environment so all students can learn. 506.1, bullying prevention. This includes verbal, physical, or written act, threatening. It's often repeated, and you must report to administration immediately, and administration can investigate to resolve or prevent any bullying. Student sex non-discrimination. Equal education opportunity. Staff must report to administration if they see any of this. 524, technology guidelines. Used for education purposes. Any electronic use is public record. In other words, that's your digital footprint. Inappropriate use by students may be subject to suspension or expulsion. Inappropriate use by staff may be subject to discipline and or termination. Staff notification of violent behavior by students. Staff have right to know about students with history of violent behavior. Only staff who work with students or have a legitimate educational interest. This is for the safety of the people who work with students who might have this type of behavior. Hazing prohibition 540, act of coercing student or staff into doing something for an initiation into a club or organization. Staff must report to administration, applies on and off school property. And lastly, 707 transportation, bus ridership is privilege. Bus rules must be followed. Rules are same on the bus stop. Rules will be sent home to families. If you have any questions, please contact your administrator. And with that, I wish you a great